Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to look at Claude Code and Spring Boot. And to do this, I'm going to create a new project. So I just press new project, and then I chose Spring Boot, and then I am taking off Lombok, Spring Web, Spring Data DBA, H2 database, and then I press create, and then I get this cool project that I have right here. So let me just close all of the other ones that I have. So here's my project. And then I go to settings and theme, appearance, and then I'll just set this to light like this. Yeah, so now I have a fresh project right here that we can play with, and yeah, I'm using Gradle for this project right here, and it is loading all of the dependencies right now. So first of all, you need to install Claude Code, and you need to sign up either through a subscription or either through pay-as-you-go. And I would definitely recommend you to pay as you go, because it's much cheaper if you're just trying out what it can do and what it does, and if you're not using it that much, and then definitely code as you go. Of course, if it's something that you use a lot and all of your tokens are always used up and you have to put in more money on your Claude account, then of course yeah, then take the subscription. But I have taken as you go, and the way to install it is you can go to codecloud.com, and then of course you can also get a good description on what it does and how to use it and all that. But you probably know that if you've tried any other LLM, or if you've tried Codex CLI, then this will just come natural to you. There's an installation command right here that you can run. I would recommend you to do something different if you are on if you're on Windows, but if you're on macOS, Linux, etc., then you can just run this command. This curl command that you have right here. Yeah. On Windows, I would actually use Scoop instead. It's just cooler, and you can use it for all a lot of weird stuff, and you're not hassled with annoying prompts. And this is Claude Code that you want to install. Of course, you can also install Claude. That will give you a fat client. You can also use that to put in prompts about philosophy and whatever, and to give you some jokes. But if you want to do something with coding, and if you want the code CLI, the Claude Code CLI, then this is the tool that you want to get. And you, as usual, you should already have the main bucket, but you can call that in your PowerShell or in your Git Bash or wherever you are, and then you can say scoop install main Claude Code. When you're done with that, the first time you write Claude in a terminal, then you would be asked to log in through the browser, and then you will be placed onto the site where you can pay and put in. So I just put in $10 to begin with, and then that token will automatically be placed somewhere on your machine, so it can be reached from the terminals. Okay, so far so good. So then when you're done with that, then you go to IntelliJ, then you press Ctrl+S for settings. Then you find your plugins right here, and then you search for Claude like this. You do not need this plugin if you don't want it. There's a Claude Code beta right here that has 2.7 downloads. It has gotten a bit, it's not that popular. It only has 2.7 stars, 5 stars. It's so if you don't want it, it is from Anthropic, this one right here. If you don't want it, then you just skip that one, then you just go to a terminal, then you have to write Claude all the time yourself. The only thing the plugin does is that it gives you this icon up in the top right corner. Let me just make sure that you can see it. So up in the top right corner there I have this little orange splash, which is the icon for Claude Code. So now this is a fresh project right here. So I only have my application right here. So let's say that I want a service with some test data. Then I just press the Claude Code button right here, and what it does is it opens up your default terminal, and then it just writes Claude, and that happens up here in the top. If you haven't logged in yet, and if you haven't bought access, then you'll be prompted to do that, and your browser will open on the correct page. What I like about Claude is that it's less formal than Codex CLI. It also annoys me sometimes. if it doesn't do exactly what I actually expect it to do, then I get really annoyed, and then it's really annoying. All the cute stuff that are usually cute, and those things get very annoying. I don't think that it's faster than CodeCLI. I've seen that someone writes that in the forums, but I think they're equally slow actually. It's It always annoys me that it's a bit slow. But let us try to do some things right here. So create a service with 100 dummy alien test data. The alien should have these fields, and that could be a name, then an origin, and then a power level, just like this. Maybe also color. So it could also have some number of tentacles and stuff like that. But we will just stop right there. Right, you can see right now it writes doodling. It doesn't write just thinking. Of course, it translates it to us, so we know that with doodling actually means thinking. And then we just wait. And I always get patient when I see that. But when I see the result, then I get really, really happy afterwards. And then it says right here that this code right here is the proposed code. Do you want to add that? Then I can press add, yes or no. I can also go right here to say, do you want to make this edit to alien.java? Then I can say yes, allow all edits during the session. Shift tab. I can press that, Shift tab. So now I press apply. Then I get that change. So let us see our alien. Here we have the alien. Of course, I could also be more specific. I could have said that I want a record instead. Another thing I can do is I can actually add an agent .md file out in the root. If I do that, actually I can actually ask. Oh, look at all those tokens! It's eating up all my tokens. It's really annoying. But that's how it is. So I can actually ask Claude, and you can prompt it while it's doing something else, and you can say, please create an agent.md file in the root, which describes that all DTOs, all non-entities, that all non-entities should be generated as records, not classes. So let us just try this. That means that our agents with an S. Let's see if it corrects me. It should if it's quite smart. Then it should do that. Created agent.md at the project root. Shouldn't it be agents? All non-entities. Okay, so it actually made the file. Let me just check right here. Agent. Refresh. Boom, 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 boom. Reload from disk. Agent.md. I think it's plural, but I'm not sure. So let's see if it works. All non-entities service controllers. That is not correct. All. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I just want. Actually, I want all data beans should be generated as records, unless it is a JPA entity. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so let us try to add something else. Add a new service with some dummy data for planets where the aliens can live. So let's see what it does there. If it's really smart, then it starts creating a relation between them. Let me just check if it actually looks at the agent.md file. I think it's with an S, I'm not sure. I could actually just ask Claude. Is it? It is reading it, I can see now. So it's reading one file, agent.md. That's quite cool. So now it should actually create a record with the planet instead of a player variable planet. It's still a class. That is really annoying. It's really annoying. It should not be. I think it's agents then. Or it made an entity. Okay. create the matching planet DTO. So let's see now that is just a data transferring object. Let's see if it creates that as a record. Yes, it does. It is so good. It is so good. It's awesome. Thank you very much. It also made a mapping. Created a mapping. So it maps it here from the planet entity. But all entities that should those I actually like to postfix those entities so I know that it's an entity. Here we have the repository, JPL repository with the planet. Let's just look at the planet. Which fields? I did not say which fields it should have: name, galaxy, climate, population. Yeah, it's cool. That is really, really good. That is really, really good. And then we get some test data right here. Yeah. Okay. Create a test for the... Did it already create a test? Maybe it did, actually. It did not. Create a test for the planet service. Where all planets are printed out. So let's see what the test does right now. It's cooking, it's thinking. I actually think I've been switching between Codex Cli and Claude, and Codex Cli, it seemed a bit more formal, while it's a bit more silly with Claude, but it's also, of course, it's fun sometimes. There are also more colors on Claude. If you ask it to create a thumbnail, then I think actually it was Codex Cli that was better at doing that, because Claude per default tries to create an SVG file, which are quite, of course, they're infinitely scalable, but yeah, I actually like both. I think they're equally good. Here we have the planet service test. Yes, so let us go to the tests and see what happens. Oh. Yes. Planet service test, that's the test. Control Shift F10. Run the test. Let's see what it prints out. It takes all of the planets, get all, and then it prints them out. Yes. Nice. Quite cool. So as usual, I'll upload this project if you like to see some test planets and test aliens, then you can get that project. You can also play around with the tests. But if you haven't tried out any of the AIs yet, and then try out both of, at least those two. There are many more AIs out there and code agents, and they're actually very awesome. It's incredible what they can do. There are some downsides by using them. If you use them too much, then you get you lose the feeling of what's actually going on in your code, and you should always look through and make a code review of the code that has been made by these agents. So, and that means that then you'll still be the bottleneck, because you have to look at what's actually happening. Because sometimes it is actually hallucinating, and sometimes it is misunderstanding what you are saying. And sometimes it just creates code that which is not scalable, but which works in your exact situation. So you have to review the code. Yeah, that's my opinion. If it's something that needs to be used to something serious, at least. Of course, if you're just playing with something for yourself, then no problem. And you can create whole applications in very short time. There's another downside with these code agents. That is that you actually your brain becomes lazy, and you actually becomes a worse programmer if you don't write some of this code by yourself. Sometimes you have to write it so your brain can, and you have to be stuck once in a while, because that's actually how your brain actually remembers all of these weird things that you go through. It's good to be stuck once in a while. Speed is of course good sometimes, but not always. So Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all of your comments as usual. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.